Hey, so I wanted to make a video about what it's like joining the US Army after the age of 30. Currently, I'm in Fort Benning, Georgia in OCS. It's about week 4 or week 5 right now, but this video pertains specifically to basic training. I came from Fort Jackson, and the bottom line here is that age is only an issue if you want it to be. I joined at the age of 32, and I can tell you that it really meant nothing to anybody around me in the sense that there really was no judgment, there was no awkwardness about it. The biggest issue really that came up is just people simply ask, "Are you prior service or not?" Other than that, nobody really judges you, looks down on you. There's no social stigma to being a certain age. As long as you're physically fit and you can keep up and you don't come in with sort of a condescending air of entitlement, if you can come in with humility, then it doesn't matter how old you are or what your story is. There are people that I've met who are my age, who are older than me. One guy was 39 in our graduating class. There are guys who are 18 years old that I had genuine friendships with. So you can see that emotional intelligence, maturity, all of that plays a really big part in what your story is going to be in the military. Like anything in life, don't ever let somebody define you and tell you what you're going to experience or speak into your journey specifically. If you're like me and you were curious about joining the army for a long time or the military in general, and you feel that itch, and if you understand what I'm saying, then you'll know exactly what this is. I mean, you have a corporate job, you have whatever job, you could be making six figures like I was, and you just know that there's this question mark about, what would my life be like if I joined, and how much will I regret it if I don't join. If you're towing up to that ledge and you're visualizing this as sort of cliff jumping, I would say just take that leap of faith and dive off the deep end, because that question's never going to go away, and you're going to meet other people who are going to tell you, um, I always wish that I joined. I'm 35 now, 36, and darn, man, I never signed that document. I didn't want to be that guy. So I figure I could always go back to the corporate world. I could always start up my business again. But this journey in the military was something that was so much deeper than monetary or even career. It's a very personal journey. So there's nobody that can speak into that for you, really. I mean, you can look at Reddit, you can look at the blogs or the vlogs or whatever information you want to gain about other people's stories. But truthfully, until you join, you're never going to realize how it resonates with you. And don't be intimidated by the negative information out there. I know there's a lot. Um, I came across that a bunch, but I can say that there's so much truth in the positive mindset that you can bring into this journey. Um, you know, there's a lot of insecurities people have, especially about age. That was a big thing for me in particular. But I know so many friends of mine who wanted to join, but they weren't sure if they'd be able to hack it, or if it was the right decision. And I know that there's some of them are still struggling with that. Some of them have regrets that they never joined. But I can say that the road is never that scary. People make it sound scary. They make it sound rough. There's going to be a lot of horror stories out there about people who failed or people who had miserable experiences, and that's all one person's journey, and it really probably won't reflect what your journey is going to be. And I read an interesting article the other day that uh, 85% of what we fear never occurs. There's actually a study on this. And for me in particular, I thought, maybe I won't be able to keep up with the young guys. False. I was definitely able to keep up. I won't be able to have genuine relationships with people because I'm just too old for them, and I have a different walk of life. That was also false. I had phenomenal relationships with people, and there's a lot of very wise, even old souls who join. And I have a lot of respect for the guys, regardless of their age, who are able to just come in with a sense of maturity. Um, I mean, I could go on a list of these things, but at the end of the day, again, if you're fit, if you take care of your body physically, if you're somebody who can come in with a sense of humility and not be condescending or judgmental towards others who may not be at your level of maturity yet, then things are going to go really great for you. especially because you have experience from the real world, if you will, whether it's corporate, whether it's you're a business owner like I was. People will want to discuss these things with you regarding success outside of the military, because everybody has a career trajectory here anywhere between 4 to what, 25, 30 years, and they see that there's value in getting education outside the military, going to college, going to get their masters, things like that. um, and people want a career outside of this eventually. So you, being in your 30s, bring in so much knowledge and information that will help benefit others as well. So I would say age really is it pretty much it means zero in the military. You don't get disrespected for it. You aren't treated poorly. You aren't made fun of. There's so many fears that I personally had, and I just want to speak into that. So none of it's true. All the all the maybe negative reviews or blogs that I've read online about age, nothing like that came to fruition. So just understand that who you are as a soldier or a sailor or a marine or air force air force pilot, I guess, whatever branch you join, your story is yours alone. So go in with an open mind. A lot of humility is going to be required, because you literally have to ask people for permission to use the bathroom. I mean, there's going to be, in the training environment, there's going to be a very poignant time in your life where you're going to think to yourself, why did I do this? Like, this is rough, and not because it's demanding, but because it's mentally stifling, in the sense that you've never been around so much red tape in your life. But it's a game, and when you realize it's a game, and again, being of a certain age, you kind of see through the the structure, right? You see it for what it is. You're able to play the game and have fun doing it. That's where you flip it on its head. It's not a stressful environment. It's, yes, it is meant to stress people out and induce that, but you understand that, and it's a shared experience among your peers, and really the camaraderie is what becomes so amazing, and so unique to the military, because the environments suck, but the people next to you are suffering just as bad as you are, and you can't help but find positivity and see people's personalities and see their humor come out. um, I mean, and you can bring that to the table, because at a certain age you probably know yourself better than other people, who are much younger than you, but at the same time, you draw that out in others. You draw out their personalities, because that's really what gets you through. Is, you want the guy who's the jokester, you want him to make jokes. I mean, I get that it's a serious environment, but humor really cuts through the tension. Other guys who are super squared away and put together, you kind of want them to help, make sure that they keep people in order, respectfully. And people fumble it because they're trying way too hard to control others. But again, it's a process. It's a growth process. Um, so it's really neat to see how the interplay of all these stories and all these walks of life come together to make your experience in basic training and any training environment. It makes it a unique flavor, if you will. You can think of it like brewing beer. You throw in the hops, you throw in, um, I guess, the different strains of yeast or whatever, and there's different fermentation periods that all goes to create a perfect batch or a perfect brew. Your military experience is going to be like that crisp, cold beer that you create. I guess maybe I'm craving beer right now, but there's a recipe to it, and you're part of that recipe. It's not that you just get thrown into an environment and you're at the mercy of everyone around you. You're a catalyst for change. Your story and your unique background is going to fuel, the environment that you're in as well. So go in with a mindset of growth, and one in which you can impact people around you, but also be open to them impacting you and walking alongside you. It doesn't matter how much money you made, doesn't matter how much real estate you own or what you drive or who you are. When you're in the military, we're all equal, especially in those beginning stages. And that's a beautiful aspect of it. You get to bond with people in a pretty open and sincere way. So if you're thinking about joining and age has been an issue for you, don't let it be an issue. Trust me, because I joined at 32, and tons of people that were my age. There's maybe, I don't know, 20 of us out of 100, but um, it was the best decision I could have made. I had to make that decision. I had to, jump off that ledge and go into the deep end and sink or swim, right? So I'm forever grateful that I did it. Um, it's been a journey, There's been highs and lows, but overall, it was the right decision. So I hope that helps. Thanks.